Hello, folkers. I'm Copper Kelly.
And I'm Jodie Lucas, and you're welcome to the Folkin Around Podcast,
your favourite country music podcast. And Joe, tell the lovely people, who did we talk to this week?
So this week was quite an iconic moment, I guess, for the Folkin Around Podcast, in that we had our first Nashville country singer, and the wonderful and charming Mr. Calvin Lee.
Yeah, Calvin Lee, who's a sound guy. And we spoke to him about, I suppose, his musical influences and how gospel was a big influence on him. And also how he kind of uprooted. He left his home in Arkansas and he travelled to Nashville, where he is at the moment. So it's a class interview. I really hope you enjoy it. So we'll, without any further ado, we'll pass over to the interview and we'll talk to you after.
We're really, really happy to have with us from miles away from us, we've got the amazing Calvin Lee. Calvin, how are you? Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm doing just great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's great. And as we say, you're really, really far away. So why don't you tell our listeners where you are at the moment?
I am in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
Here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we just finished up some bad snow here. It's been a pretty good old freeze. So we've had a couple of days in a row of, sunshine. So we're all out and, it's enjoying it. I'm just trying to catch up on a few stuff around the house, but right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's good.
Oh, wow. Where all the country music magic happens, isn't it?
Exactly. That's just where it's at, right here in Nashville.
So for our listeners that may not be familiar with you, why don't you give them a little background of yourself and sort of how you got into music?
Well, I was born and raised in Arkansas. I'm from a small town it's called Earl, Arkansas. And I came up, come up in church, pretty much singing, in the choir. And my mother, I used to sing around the house. And my mother thought I had a great voice, and so she thought that I should go to church and get in the choir and let folks hear what I sound like. I used to get on my sisters and brothers' nerves around the house, but they used to chase me all around. Get out of here, Calvin, singing that country music again.
Were they not a fan of the country music?
Well, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather, so my grandfather loved country music. So I would go to my grandfather's house because, I'm from a pretty big family. So just being, my grandfather's house, I would get a little bit more, he would spoil me over there. So, but he liked, country music, and he'd have that radio on all the time on country music, listen to Johnny Cash and also Elvis and, B.B. King and all such stuff like that. So I was kind of drawn to it from that, and so that's pretty much how I got into it. He would make like little instruments out of like vegetable cans, like tin cans. He'd make like little guitars out of tin cans and stuff.
Yeah.
He'd take fishing line and just make these little guitars and stuff. And, and we take these oatmeal boxes and we just sit around, him and I, and we just make little tunes, from oatmeal boxes and little tin cans and fishing line.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I started out like that and, and it just kind of stuck with me. Certain songs I would hear, I would cover songs I would hear, I would sing back, and I ended up going to, church and getting in the choir. And, the pastor got to hear me sing, in the choir for the first time. And we had an old piano there that would be, it was out of key, old piano. And they was trying to play the piano while I was singing Amazing Grace one Sunday. And so the pastor just asked them, hey, don't play the piano today. Let's just let Calvin sing his song. So I get to sing the song a cappella. Nice. And that day I got a standing ovation in the church. And from that day on, I was more motivated, to sing. The shyness, it just went away.
You got the bug for entertaining.
Yes, sir, exactly.
That's it, yeah.
And I think that people don't sort of realise sometimes, particularly over here, I'm in England, Copper's over in Ireland, how much of a link there is between sort of like the church gospel music and country music. They're very similar, aren't they? And have the same sort of vibes to them.
Yeah, you have quite a few songs. You get country songs, you have gospel songs. And a lot of those songs, it depends on how they're written. They're crossovers, crossovers. But yeah, they're, you never know when you start writing something. If you put the word, Jesus in it, and, a gospel, any type of gospel, spiritual stuff, chances are, it'll be a crossover song. But I would say that country music and gospel, is kind of like going down the same road at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously you were saying like about your grandfather and things. Is he the main musical influence in your family? Is your family quite musical?
Yeah, well, like my grandfather, like I said, he wasn't, he would just listen to the radio. He'd like to dance, and he had a lot of, we live close to me. I'm from Earl, Arkansas, which is close to Memphis. So there was a lot of the old bluesy singers on the radio at the time. Like I said, there was a lot of country on the radio at the time. And I have a great uncle. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name is James Cotton. James Cotton, is a family member of ours. Like I say, he's my great uncle. He's a harmonica player. He used to go on tour with B.B. King and Muddy Waters and all of them.
Wow.
So, but he would come over and visit the family sometime. So he would probably be the one, James Cotton, who, like I said, as far as, family members, being into music, James Cotton would be the one.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did they then sort of get into Nashville to where you are now?
Well, I immediately, I stayed around the house, worked on the farm for a while before, after, high school. I didn't really know exactly which direction I wanted to go in. But I do know that I wanted to sing. But at the time, I was so young, I didn't really know how to go about doing it. So I ended up going to Beaumont, Texas. I went to Beaumont, Texas. I ended up going to school out in Beaumont, Texas. There's a school at Lamar University. And I was going out there to school. And then on the weekend, it's me and some of my college buddies, we would go out to some of the country bars. And I ended up going to the country bars. One day I walked in, I saw Tracy Byrd performing, when I, back then. And then again, I heard Mark Chestnut. And then another guy was an attorney at the time, and he was an up and coming named Zona Jones. So I got the opportunity, to listen to them. And I was just sitting around. I just kept making my way closer and closer to the stage because I love the sound, that these guys they call them the Beaumont Boys today because they said something in the water out there. So I drink the water. So
like, can you send us some?
And so Tracy Byrd ended up getting me up on stage, and I ended up performing out there with Tracy Byrd. And then those guys actually got signed, years on out. And then, I kept working because, I had to have like a dependable job. So I started doing a lot of shutdowns. In Beaumont, Texas, there's a lot of chemical refineries out there. So I was jumping on shutdowns and trying to work, save some money and going to school too. And I kind of stepped away from music, just a little bit until I could save some money. And after I, saved up a little bit of money, everybody would always say the places that I would go and sing after tracing them, everybody would like leave. I just started singing at some of the places that they would sing. And people were saying, hey, go to Nashville. You need to go to Nashville. You got a great voice, Go down there. That's where it's happening at. Well, I took the advice and I packed up and I moved to Nashville. And I've been here ever since.
What kind of distance is that from your home then, from Arkansas to Nashville? How far
from Arkansas to Nashville? It's about, I would say, it's about 300 miles.
Oh, that's okay. That's about the length of Ireland miles. From top to bottom. That must have been a very huge life decision to make that move. What was that like?
Well, coming up, in Arkansas, I drove tractors, I plowed the fields, I worked, just doing like a lot of farm work.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wanted to get out of that, and I had a brother that was, he was actually in Texas. He was in Austin, he was in Killeen, Texas. He was in the Army, and he was, getting ready to get out of the Army. So the first move I made, like I said, before I went to Beaumont was actually Austin, Texas. But I was only there just a short time. I come down there with him, help him get set up in an apartment. And then I I ended up, going down to Beaumont, Texas. I was working out in the gym. I wanted to be a bodybuilder and I wanted to be a singer at the same time. So I started working out in Austin, Texas, working in the gym, and I met this girl. Yeah, it's always a girl,
We're trouble.
So I followed her to Beaumont, Texas, and that's how all the stuff started with me being in school and such stuff like that. So, just used to say, the Beaumont, Texas was really the place where I got to really get up on stage with a full piece band and just perform. And I got a lot of that, like I said, just watching Tracy and Mark and all those guys out there, Mark Nessel and Donna Jones, it kind of like showed me how to be an entertainer, than just standing there performing, with the mic. But it was just fun little journey for me.
That's great.
And what's it like? Obviously, for us, over here, the dream is always to go to Nashville and life would be amazing and glamorous and everything. And is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it that amazing, or is it just everybody's out there trying to be a singer?
Well, there's a lot going on in Nashville, but we do get a lot of people move. There's folks moving in every day, and there are folks moving in. You see, trailers and buses coming through here all the time. There's a lot of folks coming down here to to start here in Nashville. So, but yeah, it is it's a hot little city. There's a lot going on. You got Lower Broadway. You got a bunch of bands there downtown. That's playing. So that's the place to go on the weekend. You just go Lower Broadway. You're walking down the Lower Broad there. You got bands playing on the right, left side. Just folks everywhere. So Nashville is a really, really beautiful city, and I would say, to anybody, if you want to come, if you're looking to pursue your music career, just head on down to Nashville. There's a lot of producers here, a lot of places, a lot of studios to record. But yeah, it's a pretty good little city.
Yeah, we can go no further without talking about your single, My America. And of course, it's very, I suppose, it's a song about America. And of course, I'm in Ireland, Jodie's in England. And we don't have that patriotic pride, that you would have being an American listening to that song. But at the same time, it's actually in its own right. It's a very good song. It's very catchy. And I have to say, I've been humming it to myself for the last week, I'd say. It's very good. And of course, that song was recorded in Nashville, was it?
Yes, it was. And thank you, Copper. I really appreciate that. The song was recorded in Nashville. Like I said, we were actually looking for a good kind of like a patriotic style of song.
Yeah.
We wanted a song, kind of a sing-along song. We wanted a song kind of like, we wanted a unity song, with a lot of folks, that can, that'll be involved. This song is basically about love, It's a very, very special song to me. I love to sing it. My kids they sing it a lot. Their friends sing it a lot. And, it's a good old American song, and I just hope we can just get this song out. It's been spent on some radio stations and it's pretty popular, and I appreciate you guys, just, wanting to play it for us, and
absolutely.
But like I say, this song is really, really, personal to me. I just, like I said, I love singing it. With everything going on in the world right now, it's just a song that I just hope one day that'll get to the people and folks can just come together, as one.
Yeah.
And, because like I said, it's just been so much going on in 20 and 21 right now. So
it's too much division. You need to bring people together. That's the main goal.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And obviously we talk about things going on in the world. How has obviously the COVID and things like that affected you guys in America? We know it's really different in every country. Is life getting back to normal over there?
Things are starting to open up a little bit. There's a vaccine that's been available to folks right now. So folks are going out and getting the vaccine, and a lot of the places is starting to open up. Just a lot of the restaurants and and places like that. But yeah, you can kind of see things starting to brighten up a little bit, around Nashville. So,
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, folks are, they've been, locked in and, because of this thing. But, I've noticed there's a lot more cars on the road. A lot of businesses is opening up and, outdoor events and stuff starting to, open up. So, yeah, we can see the difference now versus 2 months ago.
No.
So
and I think we're all going to appreciate everything a lot more now, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I can see that. One thing about that COVID, it teach you how to, be a lot more cleaner. But what I'm saying, like, I like when I go to the gas pump, I got me some wipes and hand cleaner there, and just, you can just see people, folks is just, there's a lot of the cleaning business is booming down here. That's for sure. But yeah, it's starting to open up and everything. And I just thank God that I hope that everybody just get the vaccine and the people that are sick, just get well and hope we can get back to normal with everything.
Definitely. And obviously with everything getting back to normal or whatever the new normal is, what's your plans musically going forward?
I am writing right now. I'm getting ready for, just getting ready. My management group is working on some stuff right now as far as, a bunch of music for some outdoor events. But the whole time, I've been in just writing. Got a couple of players been coming over and we just been sitting around, coming up with some hooks on some songs. So we're just getting ready, so when the time comes, we automatically just jump right on in and just do what we do. So, but it's just writing is basically what I've been doing.
So it's quite nice you've had the time to do that as well, hasn't it? Bringing a positive to it. You've had that time to do the writing and things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, being just, like not being able to go anywhere, and just, like I said, I've been looking at a bunch of old school songs and stuff, to get some good ideas from some stuff like that too. But just being in, besides gaining a little bit of weight,
we were just saying about that, how we're going to have to join the gym again and things.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot since I've been, inside for the COVID, and I took one of the rooms in my house and just, and just kind of made me a little exercise, room out of it, and that's why I'm actually right here at this storage right now. I've been moving a bunch of stuff, around at my house, and I went and got storage, and I know I had this today, but I had a bunch of moving I had to do today. So I said, well, since I'm here moving some stuff around and making some extra room in my house, to bring the band over, I might as well just set up right here at my storage.
Makes a nice
why not?
So it works.
It's a really good background, actually.
Okay. Sorry, here's what I have. I just right down the hallway from where my storage is right there. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Are you keeping busy with? You have a Calvin Lee blue jeans line as well. Are you keeping busy with that?
Yeah, we're starting to. They are starting to. Make. A couple of the working man's blue jeans. It's kind of like it's like working man clothing, pretty much. The blue jeans. We'll have shirts as well, but I hadn't get to see the first shirt or jean yet that they're working on. But from what I hear, that they are putting that together. That's one of the partners from my management group out of Atlanta, and so the denim factory is actually in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah. It's looking pretty good. It's still in the mix on everything we got
down the
going
line
on
somewhere. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Definitely something else to keep you busy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Like I said, I can't wait to put a pair on. Just to see what it feels like. So, but yeah.
And have you any plans? Obviously, we have to ask if there's any plans to come over to the UK or Ireland at any point.
I would, yes. Once this, like I said, once things get once we get ready and get this thing up and going, most definitely we'll be coming your way.
Brilliant! We'll show you around here if you show us around Nashville. How's that?
No doubt. You guys come down anytime. You're welcome to come stay at my place if you like.
There we go. We're literally on our way.
Next flight, please.
Okay. All right.
So. At this point, we like to do something that's called Copper's Corner. So I'm going to pass over to Copper, and he's going to throw some random questions at you.
Yes.
Okay.
So, tell me this. What was the first CD or record that you ever bought?
The first record that I ever bought will probably be, I would say the first record I got would be it would be the Commodores with Lionel Richie.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
And you know, I just back in the day, I always thought that Lionel Richie's always had that country, he was always the country boy. Even though he would sing, you know, on the R&B side of things. But, you know, he had that voice, you know, and even today, a couple of his songs is on my song list. You know, he's got a song called Stuck on You, you know, which is one of my favorite songs. But I would say Lionel Richie was one of the first records that I bought.
That's a good one to start off on for sure. Fair play.
Yeah.
And I can see that I read somewhere that you like your old Western movies. It's like you like old Clint Eastwood, or going back as far as say John Wayne, or what kind of movies do you like?
I watched. I do like the Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood would probably be one of my favorite Western. You know, I like a lot of his stuff. Yeah, he was just in so much stuff back in the day. But Clint Eastwood would be my favorite Western.
Yeah. And that
Westerns over here are getting really big again on TV over here. Again, I don't know whether it's with the lockdown that they're running out of things to put on TV. But I've actually found myself watching quite a lot of Westerns, which has been sort of bittersweet for me. My dad used to love Westerns, and he would always have them on the telly, bless him. And I would always be like, oh God, he's got another Western on, you know, just as you are as a kid and things. And my dad passed away last year. And now I watch it and I think, I'd love to be able to watch it with him now. And you get into it and you get different appreciation for things, don't you? But I've definitely been enjoying Westerns myself at the moment.
Yeah.
And that leads me to the next
and then
question.
you can't leave out, you know, Bonanza and the Big Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry. the delay is kicking in now.
I can hear you pretty well now.
Perfect.
Okay. I was just saying that, you know, Bonanza.
Yeah.
You know, the Big Valley was two of my favorite too. I know y'all remember those two.
Yeah, no.
Todd Wrights.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next question. You were actually in a movie I read somewhere as well, Charlie's Christmas Wish. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got to go down to Georgia to perform that. It was a small clip. It was basically the movie. You know, it was we had a lot of veterans in it. You know, I'm all about the veterans and you know, just performing, you know, for the veterans. But in this movie here, the veterans had a part in it, and I was asked to come down to perform. You know, it's a small clip, you know, in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a small part in there in Charlie's Christmas Wish.
Very good.
And that came over pretty good. I had fun doing that down there in Georgia.
Yeah.
Good experience.
Yeah.
And
so I'm just trying to get, you know, like, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Again, the delay is kicking in. You go ahead.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with you and I talking at the same time. Okay. But anyway, go ahead. I'm waiting for your next question.
Oh, yeah. Next question is, if you're out on a night in a karaoke bar and someone handed you the microphone and say, Calvin, sing us a song, what is the first song that you would sing?
If I was in a karaoke bar, if somebody would hand me the phone, the first song I would probably sing, depending on the crowd where I'm at, whether it's a country crowd or whether it's just a dive bar, or just I usually go to country because I like country music. I would probably do. I would sing "Amarillo by Morning" by George Strait.
Oh yes!
Oh wow!
Yes. You're a big fan of George Strait, aren't you?
I am a big fan of George. Yeah, I love all George Strait stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And no, this actually might just answer my next question as well. If you were having a dinner party and you could invite 3 people from any time, any history, alive or dead, who would you pick and why?
If I want to pick 3 people,
your ideal dinner party.
My ideal dinner party would probably be Garth Brooks.
Nice.
Very good.
With Faith Hill.
Oh yeah.
She has she's a great singer. I love her voice. And then I would say I would say Chris Young. He's out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, not too far from Nashville.
Okay.
Be Chris Young.
Very good.
Oh,
very good.
Brilliant.
And, another question I have is, if you were marooned on a desert island and you had your 3 desert island discs, the only 3 discs you could listen to for months and months on end, what 3 discs would you pick?
The 3 discs, as far as the music that I would pick to, it would definitely be a Lionel Richie song.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love Lionel Richie. So it would be a Lionel Richie, Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
And I would say Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton. I'm a massive fan of Chris Stapleton as well. Yeah, he's amazing. Have you
See,
had
I
a
am
chance
the Elvis girl. I'd be there for Elvis any day.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to meet Chris at all in Tennessee? Or I think he's moving out recently as well. Or he moved away. But have you had a chance to see him? Or
I never got to meet him. So I'm, it's a distance, just getting in and out of a vehicle pretty much. But never got to meet him yet.
Oh, okay. One day.
So. But yeah, like I said, he has an amazing country bluesy voice. That man is amazing.
So much soul in the voice.
He's a great singer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had his album was our album of the week a couple of weeks ago, and we were very, very popular.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
That's great. And I have one more question as part of Copper's Corner. This is probably the most randomest question you'd probably ever asked in an interview. But do you have any ghost stories?
Any ghost stories?
Yeah.
Ghost
stories, yeah.
I don't I don't have any ghost stories. I know when we were kids, it was actually there was a curve. I guess in every town, there's a curve that's called the S curve. And some people call it like the dead man curve,
Okay.
Because, it was always that curve that people would race in. And then over the years, people would just turn their cars over, and well, those are the stories, like my dad would say, well, when I got my first car. And so that same road, he said, remember when you get onto that S curve now, you need to slow down because, you don't want to turn your car over down there, and then of course in the school, people would say, that, whenever you get to that curve late at night and stuff, you would see people like, standing on the side of the road waving,
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that's a ghost story that people would tell in the school.
Yeah.
And people would just be afraid to drive through there like late nights and stuff. But every
village has that, don't they? I think every village has got an area that people will go, oh, that's the dangerous area, and this will happen at night time.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, late nights, you would see that, like really late at night, you would see that. So it was just an old saying back in the day. So that would be my.
Yeah. Or is there like a hitchhiker, ghostly hitchhiker that get in the car and disappear? That kind of thing as well, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions there, Joe?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, where can people find you on social media? Anyone that's listening in that wants to follow you?
I am on, you can find me on calvinleecountry.com, Calvin Lee Country Home, and I'm on Instagram as Calvin L Country.
Brilliant. Perfect. And we will link to that as well.
Yes, I'll put those links in the description.
But thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been an absolute delight to have you all the way from Nashville. Yes. It really is. And we hope one day we can come over and see you as planned now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I would love to have y'all. So yeah, anytime.
We'll crash on your couch and we'll jam a few songs.
Oh, now we'll put you up in the guest room. I have a very beautiful guest room with a view.
Even better.
See, you're making it even better for us. Even better. We won't leave. That's the problem.
Okay, well, you can stay as long as you like.
There we go. We'll just move the show over there. That's what we'll do. But of course, we can't wait for you to come over, and we hope all of our followers get behind you as well and get downloading your single, My America.
Well, thank you so much, Jodie and Copper. I really appreciate you guys for doing this for me. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
You're a pure gentleman. Right. We're happy to have you on.
Thank you all. I appreciate you.
So that was our interview with Calvin Lee over there in Nashville. Did you enjoy that as much as I did, Joe?
Oh, I really, really did. It was so nice to hear his accent, his stories, and we blagged ourselves an invite over there as well, Copper.
Yeah.
So we're going to make him stick to that.
We have a place to stay if ever we're over in Nashville. So we'll definitely have to give him a shout when we're over. But I suppose we'll move on to our weekly segment of Track of the Week. So what did you suggest that I'd listen to last week, Joe?
So I recommended a song by a singer called Sam Hunt, and the song was Take Your Time.
Yes, and it was very good.
Did you like it? I wasn't too sure.
Because you kind of gave me a heads up about the style of the vocals in the verse. And he kind of speaks. It's like he's talking into the voice.
It's hard to describe, isn't it? Because it's not just talking, but then it's not a rap, and it's not.
He's talking about this.
You thought it was going to be that Lou Reed style, and it's not that even.
No. And you were over there, and you saw you looking at that guy, and whatever it was. It's like that. It's cool. It's almost like a flow to it, like a rap flow.
And he's got a really good speaking voice, hasn't he? Not many people could do that. Like Dolly Parton does it quite a lot, talks in her songs.
Yeah,
but she's got Dolly's voice, and it kind of works. So I'm surprised you liked it, actually.
Yeah, and it's a very high class production as well. You had that, Nashville sheen, a polish on top of it. So overall, it was a very, very good song. I'd really recommend anyone to listen to it. Like, I hadn't heard of him before. So
would you listen to the whole album now, do you think?
Yeah, I will. I didn't at the time, but I had a lot on my plate. But I definitely, it's going to go into my playlist, and it's going to stay there for a while as well.
Good.
So yeah, enjoyed that, and thanks for suggesting that.
And what did you suggest for me to listen to?
So I suggested Me and the Whiskey by Whitey Morgan and the 78s. Did you have a listen to that now, Joe?
I did indeed, and I hadn't heard of them before, hadn't heard the song before, but I really liked it. I feel as though you're kind of getting my style a little bit. This was kind of similar in a way to last week's one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really, really liked it. It was up my street. It was just... Again, it had so many different genres to it. It wasn't just a country, it wasn't, you couldn't say, oh, it was country or it was rock and rolly or anything. It was just a good song. And it was just, I liked it. I've been in the car quite a lot this week. So I've had it on my playlist, and it's probably going to stay on my playlist as well, to be fair.
I love it because it's like that vintage outlaw kind of 70s sound, even though it was only recorded maybe a few years ago, and has really nice guitar licks.
I didn't actually look when it was recorded, but I did think maybe it was me looking at, because obviously the name's Whitey Morgan and the 78s. Maybe I looked at the 78 and was thinking it was more the 70s, but I didn't actually realise it was that
it's recent. That's only a few years old. Yeah, absolutely. And he's still at it, and he's a really, really good singer, great songwriter, and has a real, like that. It's like Shooter Jennings last week. It's like you're in the honky tonk with the band in front of you when you're listening to this song. But yeah, hope the listeners enjoyed them as well. But what do you suggest for me and the listeners to listen to this week? So
we're going American again for you, which is so unlike me. But I've chosen a band. The band is the Band of Heathens.
Okay.
And the song is called Hurricane.
So it's not Bob Dylan's Hurricane, is it?
Oh, I don't want to say it's not if I've got this wrong and it's not, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, Band of Heathens.
The Band of Heathens. Yeah, have you heard of them?
I don't think so, no. So I'd be interested.
Again, I was debating between, they've got Hurricane and Grease Grease Satchel, which I really, really like as well. But I've gone for Hurricane because I think it's probably, their best song.
Very cool. And
so, yeah.
I am going to throw an absolute curveball at you this weekend. I'm going to suggest another band, an American band, and this band is called Metallica. No. But it's not what you think, okay? On their album Load. No. On their album Load in the mid-90s, I think it was, they recorded a song called Mama Said. And it's definitely a country feel to it. You will be surprised. I'll say no more. It's not heavy, loud, distorted guitars and blast beats and such. You'll come out and thinking, wow, Metallica sound pretty good actually. So,
can I then update my bio to say that I'm a Metallica fan if I like it?
yeah, I suppose it works.
I think I'll get away with it.
So and if you're curious listeners, go have a listen to it now. You might be very surprised. So it's Mama Said on the Load album.
I look forward to it.
So yeah, so I like to kind of change people's perceptions of things and stuff. So people might just think of Metallica as this big, loud, rah, 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 rah. But it's not at all. You'd be very, very surprised, hopefully. But I suppose that's coming to our end of our show. But if people are looking to find us and follow us on the socials, Jo, where would they find us?
So we are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and we are at Folkin Around Podcast. I was nearly going to say my own then. And we are also on Twitter, which is Folkin Around Pod.
Cool. And where can they find your own personal stuff, Jo?
So again, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, I am at Welcome to Jodie Land. And I'm also over on Twitter, which is Welcome to Jodie. And also, I can also say you can email us as well. I forgot this with ours, but you can email us because he'll tell me off if I don't say it. folkinaroundpodcast@gmail.com. We do pick those up, and any sort of request, shout outs, anything like that, let Absolutely. Us know. And your socials, Copper?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those good places. I'm Copper Kelly Music, and also have music on Spotify and iTunes and all those good places. And if you're listening to the end of the show, thank you very much. And we really appreciate you listening this far. And if you like the show and you want to kind of help us, support us and get us out to more listeners, do consider giving us a follow on the podcast app that you're using, or go onto YouTube and give us a subscribe, or even give us a quick review on Apple Podcasts or even Podcast Addict. And be kind, of course. So that'll help us kind of spread out and get more listeners and create this kind of community that we're looking to do. But I suppose, who do we have next week, Jo?
So next week we have an amazing episode with the lovely Stacey Breen.
A fellow Wexfordian.
That's it. They're taking over.
They're taking over. But that's all for now. And have you anything more to say, Jo, before we go?
No. As always, thanks so much for the support. And glad you're still enjoying it and still with us.
That's it. And until next week, bye, folkers.
Bye.